All right, episode 2. Nice. So no story today, no personal experience of a challenge. Today I wanted to run you through something that I learned actually through like a business exercise. So it's probably about maybe 3 years ago, our business underwent a like branding exercise where they ripped apart the whole business and they essentially rebuilt it with the correct, I guess, values, purpose, mission statement, all the fundamentals. And in that experience, I just loved it because it changed the way our business operated and it fixed a lot of problems that we had and it really aligned us. And as a business, we became like a more resilient business too, because you can weather the storm better when you have a good understanding of like what you're actually doing in the market, right? So if you think about resilience and mental toughness, how to eat shit, all that stuff, right? If we like define what it actually is, it's, in my opinion, and well, the dictionary opinion, but it's the ability to move forward through things when they get tough, right? It's the ability to keep going forward. It's the ability to overcome hardship. If we think about that from an exercise point of view, that's when shit gets rough. It's how to get through it. So tactics like, how to pull yourself out of the mental gutter and little things like that are really important. But the stronger your foundation is, the less you hit walls, the easier it is to bounce back from things. So you've got to have a good foundation. So I've developed a bit of like a cheat sheet on how to actually like redefine your foundation and like how to actually find your foundation. So that's like things like how to find your passions, your purpose, your values, your aspirations, your roles you play, the motivators, intrinsic and extrinsic. So I've got this bit of a guide that I use for myself and for clients, right? And this becomes something that I like to call your brand Bible. And that brand Bible becomes like your book that you open up regularly. So for me, I like to look at it, once every couple of weeks. Just to see if I'm living in an alignment to that book. But in a physical challenge, it becomes like the rock. It becomes the foundation that you build above, right? So I'm just going to run you through like what each of them actually mean and then some ways that you can go about defining those. I can't work them out for you, obviously, but I'm going to give you some tools and tips so that you can do them yourself. So the first one is passions. So in this book, it doesn't have to be a physical book, but in this book, you would start off by writing things that you enjoy. So passions, bang. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy doing this. So for me, that's like I enjoy, going out for a run. I enjoy weights training. I enjoy learning, whatever it is. It's just write down all the things that you possibly enjoy. Now, the passion is what you usually do for yourself. The purpose is what you do for others. Now, we get stuck on purpose because we look at it and we go, okay, well, it's very hard to define one thing. And it is fucking hard to define one thing. So don't define one thing. Think about all the things you like doing for other people is a good way of looking at it. So, okay, you've got the things you like doing for yourself, which are your passions. And then you've got your purpose, which is just stuff that you like doing for other people. So just list as many things as you can think of. Like I like... it could be opening the door for someone. I like teaching people about this. I like talking about resilience on a fucking podcast. Whatever it is, put them all down. What's good about this is when you later down the track, if you're wanting to find a more definitive purpose, you can use the link between passions and purpose to do that. And you might be able to create something. So for example, if you wrote down like, I enjoy doing long distance exercise and I enjoy resilience, right? And then your purpose is like, I enjoy teaching people about resilience. You can blend those together to do a podcast, whatever it is, right? The next thing is beliefs. So beliefs are things that you believe to be true. That's the way I like to look at it. These can be limiting and non-limiting beliefs. So like an example of that would be, I believe that people should get married before they have kids, whatever it is, right? This one's a little bit challenging because there's so many things that you do believe. You believe the sky is blue. But what you're looking for here is limiting beliefs. And that's the way I think that you should look at it, is what are the things that you maybe have believed to be true, but maybe aren't true. So like, you might have always told yourself, I'm bad at sport. I've always been bad at sport because of X. I've probably not if you're listening to this, but maybe you thought, I was dumb growing up because of this. It's like you've told yourself that story. You've told yourself that belief. Is that true? I don't know. That's what you need to revisit. So just write down as many beliefs that you can think of. The next one is values. So things that you value. So once again, listing as many things that you do value as possible. Could be like health and fitness, could be exercise. Fuck, you can obviously see what mine are. Just list the same shit. It could be value family. It could be you value love and connection. It could be whatever. Once you've listed all of these, what you need to then do is turn them into like value action statements. So value and action statements are just kind of like extensions and ways that you show up in the world from your values. So if you think about like, I value health, right? What does a person that values health do? So I cook my meals regularly. I eat healthy. I try to eat non-processed foods. I sleep 6 to 8 hours, whatever it is, right? You turn them into action statements. So you list all your values, then you list all your action statements. So you can already see, right? Like if by doing these 6 or 7 things or whatever it is, you're now starting to build this like foundation of who the fuck you are, which is awesome because you are who you are. But if you want to make changes to that, you can kind of see this book and see what sometimes is fundamentally wrong with it as well. For example, like myself, like I'm not someone who generally values family. Like it's not the first thing that comes to my mind. It's probably not the fourth thing that comes to my mind. However, it's something that I know that I need to start prioritizing and something that is important. So when I look at this book and my first 10 values is health, fitness, fitness, health, fitness, fitness, I can go, fuck, I probably need to start prioritizing this. So it just helps you look at things in a different way. The next one is, after you've done your values and your value statements, you've got like your aspirations. So things that you strive to accomplish. So this is like, in an easy way to put this is your goals. I aspire to buy a home. I aspire to buy a house, whatever. Oh, that's the same thing. Nice one, Ethan. It could be, you aspire to accomplish a certain amount of, self-awareness. It could be whatever, but try to get as many aspirations down there as possible, and then you'll be able to see if there's a disalignment between your aspirations and your passion and purposes, right? Because if you are aspiring to have superficial things and all of your value is about connection, then you've probably got the wrong fucking aspirations. Roles. The next one is roles. So roles is all the things you play in the world. So Mojo Crow does a really cool one of this, like if you've seen his business, but roles is like how you show up. So for me, it's like I'm a passionate leader. I'm a fierce athlete, whatever it is, right? You define these roles. The more roles you have, the less you're kind of boxed into one role. So if you think about like identity crisis that a lot of people have is, let's say you're an athlete, you're a boxer, right? You've been boxing your whole life. All of a sudden you tear a knee. Fuck, now you're a joke. You're a loser. You start getting really down because you've attached your identity, you've attached your roles to being this athlete. And now you can't be this athlete. It's demoralizing. And then you just lose yourself. And that's not very resilient, right? So if you think about that, the more roles you have, the more you're building your base. So yeah, okay, I may have done my knee. I may be not an athlete anymore. I may not be the kickboxer that I wanted to be, but I am still the loving partner. I'm still the fierce athlete in other ways. Like it's just diversifying that foundation. The next one's motivators. So intrinsic and extrinsic. You need to understand what motivates you, what pushes you, and things that you can, rely upon to source motivation. For some reason in the fucking health and fitness industry, we just rip motivation. We're like, motivation shit. Discipline's the way. Shut the fuck up. Motivation's fantastic. And you can get a lot of shit done off motivation. Yeah, you need discipline, all that crap, but motivation's still the bomb, right? So stop ripping on motivation. List all your intrinsic motivators. So things that come from an internal point of view. Like you want to achieve this because of X. You want to achieve competition because of the way it makes you feel about yourself, whatever it is. Extrinsic is the way usually a more superficial view. However, it is still really important as well. So you want to achieve it for the trophy rather than the internal view that it has. Okay, so then once you've done all this, right, you've got your passions, purpose, beliefs, aspirations, roles, motivators. Now you've got this like big book of shit, big book of stuff that you know who you are. Now, what you need to do is then revisit that regularly so you can make changes to it and expand upon it. The thing that I love about this is that when you're down in the dumps, because resilience is not just about a physical challenge, it's about life. But when you're down in the dumps, you can look at these things and you can draw motivation, you can draw self-awareness from these things. Maybe something doesn't go your way. Maybe you don't get the award you wanted, or you fail at something. You still have so much going for you, and you have so much. There's so much diversification. I don't know, fucking English is not one of my values. There's so much in here that you can pull from to gain, power from, that you don't necessarily fail as. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but when you've done this exercise and you know who you are, and you can really understand who you are and what drives you, what doesn't drive you, what you respect, what you don't respect, you become a more resilient person just naturally from having that. Now, the thing is like where this is kind of cool from like a challenge point of view is when you go do like a crazy physical challenge, you can draw upon some of this stuff in the challenge. So let's say you're doing a marathon. You hit the wall at like maybe the 20, 30K mark. You're in the shitter, you're up shit creek, you're fucked, whatever it is. And you need something to pull upon. Well, now you can pull upon how well you know yourself. So for example, if your values was always, for me, like always doing the hard thing no matter what, how do you want to show up in the world? Are you going to be the type of person that walks away from a marathon when things get hard? Are you going to be the person that slows down when you said you were going to do a certain pace? All of a sudden, you've got this brand Bible that you can pull upon. So the more true that brand Bible is to yourself, the more you can pull upon it. So it's a bit of a weird way of looking at resilience, but for me, it's what I get everyone to do before they start trying to do some crazy physical challenge, right? Like if your goal is to do something nuts to you, whatever that may be, it could be 10K, 1,000,000K, whatever. You need to have the foundation first. You need to understand who you are as a person first. And as a species, as a humankind, these days, we do not do this at all. Like, at all. We write down 3 things we're grateful for morning and night, and we write a to-do list. Fucking whoop-de-doo, man. Good on ya. That's fantastic. All for it. But spend some fucking quality time trying to actually get to know yourself. Spend some serious time working out what you're good at, what you're not, what you respect, what you don't, what you love, what you don't. And then you can go, okay, well, this is who I am. There's things I want to bring into this brand Bible, and there's things I maybe want to take out of this brand Bible, but this is who I am right now. And I've got to respect that. Now, when you've done this, not only will you be able to pursue things and achieve things better, you'll actually pursue things that are the right things. So rather than pursuing shit that isn't actually, meaningful to you, sorry, I'm having some mic issues. Rather than pursuing shit that's actually, for example, like you're chasing someone else's idea of success, you start actually chasing things that matter to you more. Now, when things matter to you more, they're easier to be resilient towards. If you have a surface level goal that you don't really respect, shit's going to feel hard. When you hit the wall, it's going to feel way harder. But when you have that deep why, when you know who you are, when you know what you're striving towards, you know why you're striving towards it, shit just becomes easier. So for me, like a challenge that, running 20K 5 years ago used to feel just as hard today as what doing a 48-hour event does now. And yes, that's because I have other tools and things in my toolbox besides just this, but it's also because I know fundamentally at my core, I'm not going to give up. I know that fundamentally it's more painful to give up than it is to keep doing it because of my values, because of who I am, because of the things that I understand about myself. So I hope this gives you a bit of like a little cheat sheet of how you can actually start identifying the things that you want out of life, who you are, etc. And I think if you actually spend the quality time building this out, you'll see what it does for you from like an achievement and resilience point of view. Cool. All right, latest.